What's up? Welcome back to Cooking with Julia, episode number 3. This is a segment where we basically take a random number selected by you in Julia Child's cookbook, Mastering the Art of French Cooking, and I gotta make it. How surprised should I be that the random page number selected was none other than 69? Real mature, guys. Grow up. But a rule's a rule, so I gotta make what's on page 69. That is in the sauces chapter, and that is a brown sauce. More specifically, sauce ragout, which by definition is a flour-based brown sauce with giblets. So to me, this sounds a lot like a gravy. So we're gonna make this gravy, and then we're gonna have some fun with it afterwards. So let's dive in.
Not too much in the way of prep here. Just gotta cut some vegetables, got some onion and carrot. You could chop these pretty much however big or small you want. I think the bigger is actually better. So I would plan on cutting them larger than I am right now. Once you're done with that, move on to the bouquet garni, our little herb joint. We got bay leaf, parsley, and thyme. Roll that up, tie it in a pretty knot, and we're moving on to the meat.
So this sauce includes trimmings, bones, or giblets from whatever meat you want. Today we're using beef bones with marrow in it. We're actually gonna extract that marrow and use it as cooking oil for when we brown all this stuff. And we also have some beef shanks. We're gonna go ahead and slice those up so we kind of increase the surface area of the things that we're browning. That browning process is huge because it infuses all of that flavor into the sauce, and it also has a pretty big impact on that color. You want a nice dark, deep brown.
Start by extracting the marrow from the bones using a spoon. Marrow is a great element and can be used in a number of ways. Its rich flavor is a great base for a sauce like this, and we might as well use it if we're lucky enough to have it. When it comes to the shanks, we're going to slice the meat off the bone and dice it to, about a 1-inch size. Again, like I mentioned, this is to increase the surface area of the things that we're browning. That browning is huge for imparting flavor into this sauce. At this point, we're fully prepped and we're ready to get cracking on that sauce. Melt the bone marrow over medium-high heat and brown the bones and trimmings. Take your time, be patient, and try not to overcrowd the pot like I did. If you do, not a big deal, it's just going to take a little bit longer. Again, browning is so important and imparts so much flavor on that finished product. Make sure you flip them about halfway. You want to get a nice even brown on all those bits and pieces of meat. And one note, don't worry about how much marrow or fat you're going to use. This might look like a lot to you, but we're going to strain and remove that before serving. Once you're happy with the color, remove the bones and trimmings, add the vegetables, and let those brown and caramelize. They're going to become very fragrant. And once you're happy with the color on those, remove those to the side dish. Now with that remaining bone marrow, you might need to add a little bit more. Add your flour and whisk that into a roux. And you're going to want to let that go until it's maybe mid-range golden brown. Like that. From here, we're going to add our boiling beef stock. This is going to help make sure that it doesn't clump up and stays nice and smooth. So add the rest of your beef stock, some red wine, and some tomato paste. Then add back the vegetables, the bones, and the trimmings. Top it off with our little herb joint, and we're going to simmer this for 2 to 4 hours until it's a thickness that you like. Off the heat, we're going to strain this now. Use a big spoon to remove those larger pieces, and then put this through a fine mesh sieve. This is one of the thicker things that I've had to strain, so you're going to hear all about the issues that I had with that in about 3 seconds. Here we go.
All right, so at this point, what we have is our brown sauce, but we were supposed to have a lot more of it. So my conclusion on that is it was either simmered a little bit too long or didn't add enough stock in the first place, maybe a combination of the two, but I'm not that mad about it because what I have here tastes good and I don't need that much of it. So we are definitely gonna be okay with what we have here. So we're gonna put this in the fridge and let it cool. That way the fat rises to the top so we could scrape that off. And in the meantime, we're gonna work on something fun to put this sauce on. Took me a lot of thinking, and I really don't know how I landed on this, but this brown sauce is a lot like a gravy. I don't know if that's like blasphemy to say that this brown sauce is gravy, but that's what it looks like to me, so I'm just gonna say it. And the first thing that came to my mind when I said gravy was fries. And one step beyond that, you have poutine. So we're gonna make poutine, homemade fries, that beautiful brown sauce, and some cheese curds. Let's do it.
I've been intimidated to make homemade fries for a while now. I've had a couple of half-assed attempts go horribly wrong, but I was determined to do it right this time for the sake of the poutine. So go and peel your potatoes, slice them into whatever size or thickness you like in a fry. Just make sure it's consistent. Rinse several times in cold water to remove that starch and dry them very well. Oil and water do not mix. Once dry, we're gonna fry these for 5 minutes at 325. Remove them, increase the temperature to 375, and fry until golden brown. When it comes to frying, temperature is really important, so make sure your oil is at temp before you put the fries in. And my other tip is not to overcrowd the pot. If you have to do this in batches, you gotta do it. Once they're looking good and that second fry is getting to the 5-minute mark, remove them to a rack on a tray. That's gonna help make sure that they don't go soggy. Do a good, thorough job of removing all of that oil that you can. And at this point, our fries looking good, and we're ready for that poutine.
All right. The fries are done. The gravy is warming. We're gonna season these up. We're gonna plate everything, and we're gonna dig in. When will I learn? A little salt, a little pepper. One quick thing on these curds, to anybody that's well versed in the curd world, I don't mean any disrespect, but I have to admit that I got these at Target. And before you jump down my throat, that was the third store I went to, and I was lucky to find anything. So if you got a problem with that, then stop bitching and send me some fucking curds, okay? In the meantime, I'm gonna use my Target curds. They're not bad.
All right, my Target cheese curd rant is over. Now it's time to get serious and plate this poutine. We got our fries down, our curds down, and now it's time for the gravy, baby.
And now the reason that we're all here in the first place, we have our sauce ragout, our brown sauce, maybe gravy, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's beautiful. All right, here we have it, poutine, and I don't know what to say other than I'm eating this. Switching off between the hand and the fork, I don't know, it just feels right. Actually, I have an idea. I don't know if this is legal or not in the world of poutine, but we're doing it. All right, I gotta stop myself because I will continue to eat this until it's gone. And, I probably will anyways once the camera's off. But there you have it. Sauce ragout, brown sauce, gravy, and on top of that, poutine. Thank you for joining us. Oh, I'm forgetting something. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you next time.